I still remember the sound my heart made when it broke. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was quiet, like a string snapping somewhere deep inside my chest. The text came at 2:47 a.m. Short, cold, final. Goodbye, Evelyn. Please don't call. No explanation. No closure. Just the end. I stared at that message until the words blurred, until my reflection on the screen looked like someone else entirely. Someone foolish enough to believe in forever. And as the city lights blinked outside my window, a thought crept in. The kind of thought that changes everything. If love could die this easily, maybe it was never real. I didn't know then that while I was sitting there in pieces, he was standing in front of someone else, wearing a tuxedo, saying vows that used to belong to me. He texted me goodbye and married her the same week. 3 years earlier, he walked into my life wearing confidence like a designer suit. Because, well, it was one. Caleb Morgan, the golden name of Wall Street. You could smell the money before you even saw the man. Everyone said he was untouchable. Too rich, too busy, too broken from his past to love again. But somehow he noticed me. I was just a junior architect, still paying off student loans, still riding the subway to work, still learning how to hold my head up in rooms filled with people who spoke in brands, not words. He found me at a charity gala. I wasn't supposed to be there. My firm sent me to help with design logistics, but there he was, laughing under golden chandeliers, a glass of champagne in his hand, his eyes scanning the crowd, until they landed on me. "Let me guess," he said, approaching with a smile that could fund a war. "You're not here for the free drinks." I laughed, nervous. "Definitely not in your tax bracket," I said. He chuckled. "Good. I'm tired of women pretending to be impressed." That night, he made me feel like I belonged in his world. The man knew how to talk. His words were silk, his touch was velvet, and every promise sounded like a secret meant only for me. We became inseparable fast. Late-night calls, rooftop dinners, flowers showing up at my desk just because you looked tired today. It was the kind of love that makes your friends roll their eyes and your heart forget how to beat on its own. But perfect stories always hide cracks, and Caleb's were hidden beneath the shine. He hated when I asked about his past. His phone never left his hand. And sometimes, his gaze would drift, like he was somewhere else entirely. Still, I stayed. Because when a man like Caleb says he loves you, you want to believe it's real. 1 year later, he proposed on a yacht under a sky full of fireworks. People clapped. Photographers clicked. And when he slipped that diamond ring on my finger, I swear I saw my entire future, glittering, endless, safe. But love built on illusion always ends in silence. Because a few months after the engagement, the warmth began to fade. Our room. No answer. By noon, his number was disconnected. By evening, his assistant said he'd taken a personal trip. It took 3 days before the truth hit the headlines. Caleb Morgan marries longtime friend in private ceremony. My phone slipped from my hand. The world tilted. The photos were everywhere. Him in that same tux. Her in white, smiling like she'd just won the lottery. Her name was Lila Hart. His business partner's daughter. Beautiful, rich. Perfect for the image he wanted. The caption beneath their photo said it all. A power couple destined to rule the industry. And me? I was just a footnote he erased. But what Caleb didn't know was that he'd made one small mistake. He left more than his ring behind. He left a secret, one that could burn everything he built, and I was done being the good girl who cried quietly in the dark. I was going to make sure his empire collapsed, brick by golden brick. When Marcus left, he didn't just take love with him. He took my sense of safety, my belief in promises. But pain is a strange kind of teacher. It burns you until you stop feeling sorry for yourself and start seeing patterns. At first, I cried for weeks. I replayed his text over and over. "Goodbye, Evelyn. I'm sorry, but I have to follow my heart." His heart, apparently, led him straight to her. A woman I'd never met, but whose name appeared on the guest list. Of every business gala we ever attended, I didn't delete the messages. I saved them. Every one of them. Because something told me I'd need proof someday. When the shock faded, I stopped asking why he did it. Men like Marcus never cheat because they're lonely. They cheat because they think they'll never be caught. So I made sure he would be, not by exposing him to the world, but by letting him expose himself. I started with silence. No angry calls, no tears. He expected drama. Instead, I vanished. I let him believe I was broken, defeated, harmless. While he played house with his new wife, I started collecting everything he ever tried to hide. Emails, transactions, records from our shared businesses that he once told me were too complicated for me to understand. They weren't complicated. They were dirty. Marcus had been moving money, using my name, my signature. He built his empire on forged trust. Literally. The night I discovered it, I didn't cry. I laughed. A quiet, bitter sound that didn't even feel like mine. Because that was the moment I realized I didn't need revenge. I just needed the truth to breathe. And truth, when freed, destroys quietly. I called my lawyer. If you've ever been broken by someone who thought they'd get away with it, remember this. You don't need to scream to be heard. You don't need revenge to win. You just need to rise quietly. Because silence, in the hands of a woman who knows the truth, is the loudest sound in the world. This was Evelyn's story. If her voice reached you tonight, don't forget to subscribe so her next story finds you too.